LSU goes to Tuscaloosa to take on the Crimson Tide. This game's 7:30 Eastern time on ABC. One team playing for a top 4 seed. The other team just playing for a bounce back at this point. If you look at Alabama's profile under second-year head coach Kalen DeBoer, they're 7-1. They're 5-0 in the SEC. They are currently considered one of the most improved teams in college football from week 1 to week number 10. The only blemish, of course, that season-opening road loss on the road at Florida State. Since then, Alabama has rattled off 7 consecutive victories, including a game at Georgia, Vandy at home, at Missouri, and Tennessee. Now, this is massive. Tide are coming off a bye week, so they should hopefully be as healthy as they've been all season long. They should be prepared. And for LSU, they've been in a bit of a free fall. They limp into Tuscaloosa with a 5-3 record, just 2-3 in the SEC. They have not lived up to their expectations this year, having lost 3 of their last 4 games. That has shown some flaws really on both sides of the ball. They, of course, lost to Ole Miss. They lost to Vanderbilt, and then they got blown out at home against A&M in their most recent outing. To think that this team was ranked in the top 3 in September to all the way out of the poll shows you that this season's kind of lost, but this one becomes their Super Bowl. This is the way to salvage it. Question number 1, how does LSU respond to an interim coach? After the loss to A&M, we all know that LSU decided to fire Brian Kelly. They also at the same time decided to fire their offensive coordinator, Joe Sloan. In their place steps Frank Wilson, who is a Louisiana native, a guy that is a tremendous recruiter, that has developed a great relationship with every single player on that team. From an offensive coordinator standpoint, it's Alex Atkins. So those two, and the head coach and the offensive coordinator role, they've had a bye week to kind of fundamentally reset a program that was struggling in many ways. And Kalen DeBoer has kind of acknowledged this challenge, noting that teams that often play with a different energy and the players kind of allow this external noise to galvanize them in the locker room. And Frank Wilson, he's leaning into the relationships. He's emphasizing the people. He's trying to create a bunker mentality. When everything appears on the outside as if it's fractured, don't be surprised if there's a new energy from this LSU team. It wouldn't surprise me at all if they play one of their best games of the entire season. Question number 2, how will the LSU offense adjust to a new play caller? Now, Alex Atkins has now had 10 to 12 days to either install a new system or to make tweaks to the existing playbook and put his own spin on an offense that has been fundamentally broken. They are 107th in total offense. They have been triple digits on third down. Now, new philosophy potentially, new voice in the quarterback's headset. Will this be a new look offense? Will it offer up a bit of a, quote, element of surprise? We don't know. We know that what we've seen up to this point has been something that left an awful lot to be desired. But at the same time, Kane Womack, the defensive coordinator for Alabama, is he having to chase some ghosts in this game? Looking back to maybe when Alex Atkins was at Florida State, are they going to have a different look to him? So that is a challenge, I think, for this Alabama defensive staff to prepare for an offense that might fundamentally change what they've been in the first 8 games of the season. Question number 3, how will Alabama's offense look different after the bye week? Now, offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb has done a great job, but it has been a pass-first attack. And it mirrors a little bit what Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb had a lot of success with while at Washington. They're not a group that is all about blunt force. They're about empowering their quarterback, and Ty Simpson has had a tremendous season. Since being named the starting quarterback on August 11th to losing his first game as a starter to where he's at now, think about that evolution. The guy's completing nearly 68% of his passes, over 2,100 yards. He has been outstanding. 20-1 touchdown to interception ratio. And 7 consecutive wins, he's been the reason. He's not just a game manager. He's surgically efficient, averaging over 8.5 an attempt. And he can attack defenses, not just vertically, but he can attack them in the middle. He can attack them underneath. He's just been really smart. So I'd imagine after the bye week, a lot of the time was not spent on the passing attack. It's probably spent on trying to grow in the run game. Because if you look at where they've been, against Florida State, they ran for 87 yards. Against Wisconsin, they ran for 72. Against Georgia, they ran for 117. And Jam Miller right now is averaging less than 4 yards per carry. And I think the coaching staff, they've talked about it. They really want to find a way to create a consistent threat running the football. They want to find a way to manufacture explosiveness in the run game. Both have been lacking in the first 8 games, but I bet you that was a huge point of emphasis in their week in which they did not have to prepare a game plan that weekend. Question 4, can LSU's secondary contain this deep wide receiver core? Now, if you look at Alabama, it's not like it's one guy that is taking over the game on a week-to-week basis. Ty Simpson does a great job distributing the ball with a lot of balance. With Jeremy Bernard, who's a clear primary target, he's been very solid at over 500 yards and 6 touchdowns. Ryan Williams, his emergence these last couple weeks shows you that he still remains one of the biggest threats on vertical routes and on plays in which there's double moves and things like that. Ryan Williams is rounding into form. And Isaiah Horton, who's been great in the red zone, a little banged up the last time out, but he's got 5 touchdowns on 22 catches. So he's very valuable there on third down and very valuable when the field does start to condense. So that trio, their complementary skill, it allows Ryan Grubb to create matchups at all 3 levels of the defense. And LSU's pass defense, they're good. It's a really good group. They're giving up over 200 a game, though. They're 35th in the country. They're allowing just under 60% completion. And they have survived by generating some turnovers. They have 10 interceptions this year. And players like A.J. Halsey, Mansour Delane, those 2 guys are as good at their respective positions as anybody in the entire country. Delane at corner, Halsey at safety, those guys are really good. So can this ball-hawking secondary take advantage of a quarterback that does not make mistakes? And this is a matchup that you would think Alabama is schematically designed to win, but it will be very important for LSU's defensive backs to play at a high level, live in man coverage from time to time, and hopefully take advantage of an errant throw from Ty Simpson. Even though he doesn't seem to do that very much, the guy has been absolutely lights out. Question number 5, can LSU find any balance offensively? Now, this might be the biggest key to LSU finding a way to pull off the outright upset. They've been super one-dimensional. They're 124th in rushing offense, and they're not doing a good job up front. The LSU offensive line has been one of the biggest disappointments in the SEC this year. We have this metric at ESPN. It's called, quote, blown block percentage. I honestly have no idea what it means. I don't know how they come up with it. I'm not sure it really matters. I do know this. LSU is 131st in that metric. So take it for what it is. Like I said, no idea what blown block percentage is, but I know that LSU is in the 130s. Anytime you're in the 130s in anything, it's not good. So that's arguably the biggest weakness of this LSU team. And how do they protect their quarterback, Garrett Nussmeier, who's been dealing with injuries all throughout the season, from ankle to oblique? He's had challenges. So if LSU can't run the football, which will put them in obvious 3rd and long situations, they've not been good on 3rd down this year, that would allow Alabama's defense, who's really good in the back end defensively, to kind of pin their ears back, rush the quarterback, and only rush 4, potentially apply pressure, and allow this pass defense with some ball hawks themselves to get hands on the football. Look, Garrett Nussmeier will throw the ball into traffic. And if he's forced to rush throws against a good pass rush and a good secondary, that could lead to big problems for LSU's offense. So if you look at Alabama's defensive vulnerability up to this point, it's been their inability to be consistent when it comes to stopping the run. They are in the 70s right now in rush defense. They got gashed by Florida State. They got gashed by Georgia. The big difference is that Florida State and Georgia both feature quarterbacks that can create with their own legs. That's not Garrett Nussmeier. So how will LSU try to create balance in this game knowing their quarterback is not a run threat? I will not pick this game, but I very much look forward to being on the call alongside Sean McDonough and Molly McGrath, 7:30 Eastern Time on ABC.